What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Sweet and Sour show. Hope everyone had a great weekend. A lot of things happened in Houston this past week, and so I want to talk a little bit about that first. So first of all, James Diva Harden finally got he wanted by being traded. I know Ryan's over there looking at me because I just said the word diva, but how do you feel about that, Ryan? I know you're a big James Harden fan. He found, he didn't want to be here, so we finally traded him to Brooklyn Nets. What are your thoughts on that, real quick?
Just to keep it short, because I can talk hours about it.
Brian's like, give me 5 hours.
I'm heartbroken. He's my favorite player for the last decade. Still my favorite player, but not on my team anymore. So,
all right,
tears.
Fair enough. You gonna be a Brooklyn fan?
No, but
You gonna follow him?
if they're in the finals, I will cheer for him.
For real?
Yeah.
Brooklyn versus LA. Are we gonna call that? Lakers, LA, Lakers. Not the Clippers. Ain't going nowhere.
Yes, Lakers. I feel like somebody random's gonna maybe just come out. The favorites obviously LA, but
Phoenix with Denver.
No, definitely not Phoenix. Maybe a Denver or something.
No, Lakers. LeBron's gonna take it. Anyway,
if they play the Lakers, they're gonna beat the Lakers for sure.
Nah.
It just depends. Okay, like I said, I can talk hours about it.
Right, for sure. So, also another thing in Houston, a lot of sports recap this week. Deshaun Watson wants out of Houston because of Jack Easterby, Cal McNair. And again, we can talk. This is not a sports show, so we're not gonna go too in depth about it. But according to Brian, something's gonna happen on Sunday. I mean, today on Monday.
Monday. I saw that there was a lot of fans are trying to put together a little protest to say they support Deshaun Watson, which in when you think about it, we waited 15 years for this guy to come through the doors, and he's here now. You just want to be let's not listen to this guy. He's amazing. He's your franchise.
We've already ruined so many Texans legends' careers. So
if the guy, I can say confidently, if the guy is traded, I will never watch another Texans game again.
Yeah, I think a lot of Texans fans are not going to be Texans fans if they trade Deshaun Watson away.
Because I've been through a lot, and this will be the last straw.
We've all been through a lot with the Texans organization, with Rick Smith, Rick Smith, and then with the Bill O'Brien and DeAndre. And I mean, these are the more recent stuff, but
it's funny because 3 years ago, Astros, Rockets, Texans, all oh man,
amazing!
What a time to be alive,
right? We're gonna win all three.
Now we're here.
Now we're all three gonna be not in the playoffs.
Now we're here.
Maybe the Astros would be the best one because
the Astros they're still good, but they're not the same.
You know. But anyway, so another thing I wanted to mention is James Harden's restaurant 13 is gonna open this week. Brian, are you gonna visit this restaurant?
From the sounds of all the comments I've been seeing, I might be the only one to go.
Might be the only one because this restaurant has not opened, and yet there is already a lot of reviews on Google about how terrible the food is, how they can taste, the regular menu, but not the playoff menu. So
I saw one is promising restaurant, terrible ownership.
Yeah, a lot of these, but in a way, I feel bad for the chef, for the workers, because that's their new gig, and people are already hating it because of James Harden. But
it's part of the risk.
So that's what kind of happened in Houston this previous week. So today, what we wanted to talk about, what I really wanted to bring out, is there's a guy I watch on YouTube by the name of Peter McKinnon. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys that listen to this podcast might know Peter McKinnon. Brian, are you familiar with him?
A huge fan of Peter McKinnon. I've actually watched him for years, just trying to pick up little tips and tricks that he provides on his channel. Yeah,
his videos, there's a lot of good content, that he provides, his tutorials, and just watching him, you can learn a lot from him. And so there's a video that he made recently. It's called Just a YouTuber. And this video talks about YouTube filmmakers, creators, and how they're they're not just a YouTuber. They're more, than like I don't know how I feel about the word YouTuber, right? It just there's a lot that goes with it. It's sometimes it could be a little bit negative, like if you get associated with people like Jake Paul's, the Paul brothers, or some really dumb channel that has a lot of views. So this video talks about that and how pretty much Peter, by doing YouTube, eventually did a commercial with Hyundai, and being a quote YouTuber, he's able to, I guess, venture out and do something that's in the industry that's away from YouTube. Well, what do you think about that, Brian?
I think it's easy for people to like categorize like, oh, you're just a YouTuber, or like you're just a content creator, or like, oh, because people now is like, oh, I'm an influencer for what? Like, oh, I do Instagram. Like some people are just solely on Instagram, or like beauty influencer. So like, like the labels, I don't know. It's easy to like to categorize people like that, but it's like not limiting yourself to like, oh, say, hey, Michael, you're just a YouTuber, but in your eyes, you're like, oh, I'm so much more. Like, oh, I do this, like create content here. Like I do a podcast. Like,
right.
It opens so many different doors, but
it's kind of like, a couple YouTube, I'm going to keep saying YouTuber throughout this whole show, but a few YouTubers that I watch, Casey Neistat, Daniel Schiffer, there's a lot, that I could keep talking about, but I want to quickly just talk about Casey Neistat, because Casey was really the reason I got involved into making videos. I watched his daily vlogs a lot. Maybe that was 3 years ago or something like that when he did daily vlogs. And really, I watched Casey inspired me to make my own vlogs, and from my own vlogs I became better, even socially, right? Not just in video making wise, just socially became better as I kept doing vlogs. And the more I did vlogs, the more I got interested in how to make a cool video, and that kind of spiraled into today, where I'm just making small business ads, and all that fun stuff. But Casey, it's, you can look at him as, oh, he's just a YouTuber, but he's a filmmaker in a way. He stepped away from doing shows for, television. He had something, I believe, with HBO with his brother, but he stepped away and started doing, other things, and mainly just spends, just does it on YouTube. And, there's a video that he made. It was like called Bike Lanes. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, Brian, but it was about how people in New York, he lived in New York, people don't respect the bike lane, and, bikers get injured, they fall, or or get ticket because they're not on the bike lane. But then the video kind of shows like that it's not the biker's fault. Like, you'd be driving on a bike lane, there's a big old UPS just blocking everybody, and he made a film like that got a lot of views. I forgot how many, but a lot, like probably millions of views. And it was put very well put together, so it's like a very nice film. So in a way, it's like he's a filmmaker. He made a film that had a big impact, a huge impact.
Yeah, so like thinking about like that, it's like just labeling like, oh, you're just a YouTuber, right? But YouTube is so like diverse in its own way, because like different channels do different things, right? Like, so you say like there's like the skits, like where like people do pranks, or like Casey does more like,
stories, vlog
storytelling. And then there's also like education channels where they like do science experiments. So like I feel like people saying you're just a YouTuber is very broad. Like, oh, just because you create content, like you can also be a teacher to somebody. You can, like your influence is very strong. Like people go to YouTube every day to learn how to do something.
Right.
Oh, I don't know how to edit this sequence. Let me search it. I don't know. Like, oh, my kid needs help with math homework. okay, let me search up, a pre-cal teacher on there. So it's so very broad, like to like, oh, you're just a YouTuber. You're also a teacher. You're also, you know what I mean? Like,
I think a good way to say is you get inspired by watching these videos, by watching these people. Just as someone that watches a movie and they get inspired by the director, by the producer, you get inspired and you want to do that. I feel like it's just almost the same. On YouTube, you get inspired by people's content they created, the ideas. What is this sound? That was weird. Anyway,
sorry, that was my phone.
another episode with some malfunction. But what was I saying? It's to get inspired. Like Daniel Schiffer, one of the newer YouTube. I'm gonna call him a YouTube filmmaker, artist, content creator. His videos are very inspiring to see. His content, the way he created these videos, the way he does something inspires you to want to learn, inspires you want to make more, and want to try. Want to try to make something that at that level. So that's why I feel about it. It's like more like an inspiration.
Yeah. So like how do you feel about like, oh, labeling people just a YouTuber? Like, for example, Peter McKinnon. Like, hey, that guy's just a YouTuber. But in reality, he's
a filmmaker.
Yeah. So
he's a filmmaker. Okay, he just because he doesn't direct movies, he doesn't direct big TV ads, it doesn't make him, any less, right? Yeah, you call him a YouTuber because he's well known on YouTube, right? But you can't just say, he's Peter McKinnon. He's just a YouTuber. He's not a filmmaker. He's no J.J. Abrams. He's not he doesn't count because he doesn't do anything on the big screen.
Yeah.
Which is not true because YouTube is slowly leaning towards, doing bigger things, and you need guys like Peter and Casey and all these other creators to succeed. So the way I see it is kind of like I compare it to SoundCloud artists, right? SoundCloud artists, they put their stuff on there and it was potential to, blowing up and getting bigger. Kind of like Post Malone when he started. He just SoundCloud mixes, post on SoundCloud. Someone found it, boom. Now he's, the famous Post Malone that we all listen to. So to me, YouTube is a community, right? It's a platform that lets everybody kind of have a chance, right? Of course, there's so many people that it's not like you post it now, you're for sure gonna get noticed, but it's a possibility. Things, it's not. There's more chances for you, right, than anywhere else, and that's why I think YouTube, just a YouTuber is like, not just a YouTuber.
Yeah, it gives YouTube, like you said, like community, gives everybody a voice to kind of like share their skills, and then like we said, like find inspiration, seeing other people create, and like growing yourself, and like objective is like helps everybody get better and grow. Like, yeah, you get like, random beefs and stuff with people because people are just like love drama, but overall, like learning and growing together as a community, like the film community within YouTube, the music community within YouTube, like it's crazy. Like you look on commercials now, like a bunch of YouTubers on there, like actors, like
Yeah.
That's where you get started. And I don't think you just limit to just a YouTuber. Like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, but
In a way, I'm kind of thinking is it just YouTube or just a filmmaker, right? Like, what is filmmaking? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, someone that directs, produce movies for theaters or TV, but that's a standard definition. But about like wedding filmmakers, right? Mm-hmm. Those are filmmakers too. Wedding films. I watch a lot of wedding filmmakers to get inspiration, to see to change the way wedding videos are made, right? I shoot weddings, but I'm not the type that gives you a very generic, wedding video. I want to make it as cinematic as possible. I want to make it as movie-like as possible, right? So at that point, it's like when you say wedding filmmaker, are you gonna disagree? Like, oh no, they're not filmmakers. They're just wedding videographers. Like, you know what I mean?
Do you think? Sorry. So we're going at the word like the term filmmaker, right? So like, if I'm shooting video for, say, Coca-Cola, and for social media, and I make all their videos and like Coke stories, like whatever, does that count as being a filmmaker?
I think so, because they're for. Wait, are you saying it's for a?
Like it's just like my job. Like say this hypothetical, like my job as a social media creator is to make content for Coke, right? And I'm making videos like those like commercials where they're like, oh, share a Coke with a friend and it has their name on it. And they go through this elaborate like story. Like, do you count that as filmmaking?
Well, that's in the standard definition of filmmaking.
Yeah. Because somebody could just be like, oh, like you're not a filmmaker because like you said, like, oh, filmmakers make movies or they make TV shows or
movies
stories
for television. Oh, I would say, ads are on television too.
Because like I could be like, oh, they're just content creator. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess you could say content creator on a big scale.
Is a content creator like is the word filmmaker kind of like falling out of like is it becoming like not I don't want to say obsolete, but like
to me, there's filmmaking. There's a lot of definition to it. Like it's not definition, but it's not. It covers more than just a movie director. A TV show or TV ad, commercial, director, producer.
Yeah.
It's more than that. That's why earlier I said, yeah, his videos call more than just a YouTuber, but about more than just a filmmaker. You know what I'm saying? You're a content creator now. Content creator, there's so many, things that go with content creating, right? There's social media content creating. There's, what do you call TikTokers, right? Are they content creators?
Do you think it could be like, this doesn't make sense. It's like, oh, I'm a social media filmmaker. No.
I don't even know what social media
that doesn't make
filmmaker,
sense to me.
Social media content creator
because
makes
like
sense.
like I say that because like now I rarely hear people say, oh, that guy's a filmmaker, that guy's like, oh, I'm a content creator, oh,
right,
like, so
I don't know if it's with this generation, right? But sometimes I refer to myself as a content creator. I'm a local content creator,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm like, to talk about the term filmmaker, I think it's just kind of like not phasing out, but like it's the definition is like evolving to content
like
creation.
there's exactly like it's shifting because of how everything changed with technology and platforms. It's shifting. It's not just only if you direct movies, only if you make actual films, and it's evolving because of platforms like YouTube, social media platforms like Instagram, IGTV, whatever, TikTok, like, for example, for me, I post a lot on social media like Instagram because that's where I get more hits than YouTube. But these are places where it can get me to places where I want to be, because of these platforms. It is enabling me to have a chance to become a filmmaker, a place where I can put my wedding video cinematic highlight video, and get a chance to be like, this is a filmmaker. He made a film, he's a filmmaker of weddings. So
I'll touch on this really quick. Do you think people are too concerned about labels? Like,
I'm not, for example. I don't care what you call me,
Like, if we're working on a project, right, and somebody was like, oh, I'm the DP,
right,
I'm the director of photography, I'm
right,
the, the director, I'm the colorist. I'm the, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, do you think people are too like concerned about being known that way?
See, I think that's different industries that people would be concerned. How do I put it in a way that makes sense? When I was approached to become a DP, I didn't go to film school. I just learned everything myself, and I was like, what the hell is it? What do I do? Right? And I learned, of course, obviously I knew. I was like, oh, okay, that's what it is. But because of the nature of the project, right, and how on the scale that it is, that's why they have DPs, they have photographers, you know what I'm saying, they have editors. So I feel like in industry like that, people actually do care, because there are people that are dedicated to be just a DP. I'm just the editor. I'm just a colorist. For me, I'm everybody, right? I do my own editing. I do my own coloring. I do my own, filming. I do everything. So for me, it's like, I don't care what you want to call me. I'm going to give you, what I can do. And because I'm not in the same, we didn't grow up in the same industry. There's no like, oh, I only do this. I do everything,
Yeah. Cause like, I said that cause like to touch on like, oh, when I meet new people, I'm like, oh, what do you do? Like, oh, I'm a filmmaker. Oh, I'm a creative director for, sorry, there's a bike tour driving by.
Oh, there is. We're gonna close this window.
They're trying to get their miles in today. It's a nice day outside. But yeah, just like when I meet people like, oh, I'm a filmmaker. Oh, I'm a content creator. I'm just, like at the end of the day, like, is the label that important in the whole scheme of it per se? Like if you go to somebody's Instagram, it could say, I'm a content creator for your company. Mine says something, I don't remember what it says. But just like, like having the label, like, cause I guess like what I'm trying to get at is like filmmaker, content creator. I feel it's all the same thing in a general sense. Like, sure, you could pick through the specifics, like, but like, I feel like in this, like the whole frame of it is just like, it's the same thing. You shouldn't be labeled. Like, it's okay to be labeled one thing or the other, but it's like,
I wouldn't say it's the same thing, only because content creating, there's so much content creation that not everyone that does filmmaking is like, not all content creators make videos, if that makes sense.
yes,
right?
You're correct.
I wouldn't say someone that makes viral content a filmmaker if the content is just, like a prank show or something like that. Like, you're not filmmaking, right?
But I feel like there's some aspects of it in there. Like they do their pre-production. They do like the planning, the storyboarding. Like they know how to get different shots.
Let's go with content creating. TikTok content creators.
Okay.
They're not filmmakers. Standing in front of a camera phone dancing is not filmmaking.
So the choreography in there is not part of pre-production.
The
lighting isn't part of pre-production. The edits aren't part of pre-production. I mean, not pre-production, post-production.
There is post-production in all of those
so
videos.
there's the actual production. Like,
that's an aspect of it, but to call that filmmaking,
okay, I wouldn't
call yourself a filmmaker
to be fair,
because you make a dance video. It's a little stretch.
To be fair, I wouldn't say that's filmmaking either, but
there's parts that is involved in it, but
because I feel like
it's a stretch to call them a filmmaker.
So,
but you're not.
For you what would you label yourself as? Content creator, filmmaker?
I mean, either way, because I don't. It's not, to me. It's not an issue.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, is there? Because I know people will get riled up about certain technicalities or whatever.
Right.
That's what I'm just trying to get, playing like both sides here. Because if you were to ask me, if you were like, oh, is Michael I'd say both, yes, because filmmakers, he makes wedding films, and
Yeah.
but like that's just because like when you say I make films, it's like you think of like movies, stories, like so. I feel like like it's weird to me a little, like the labeling, like how you said like, oh, so if you make films on YouTube, oh, you're just a YouTuber, but you make films on YouTuber. I mean, if you make films on YouTube, sorry, like you're a filmmaker, right?
Yeah, because YouTube actually produce movies now. Or do they? I think, yeah, they do. YouTube.
They do, but like saying
right?
like if you were to produce, okay, like your documentary plug.
Yeah.
4 now.
4 for 4. I didn't plug it this time. Okay. Brian brought it up.
So your documentary, I would consider that
I'm
a short film.
Short film. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Filmmaker.
Okay.
You know, again, the labeling, it really is up to you. Like, some people care very much about their labels. Some people really don't. You know, like even me doing videos and stuff when I was in corporate, I didn't care much about my title. You know what I'm saying? Like, you call me what, a staff accountant, accountant 1, accountant 2, accountant 3. Like, call me whatever. Just pay me my money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like in this case, we're like more artists. We're like, sure, you want to call me a DP? All right, I'll be a DP. Call me. I'm still gonna produce you this badass of a video that I made. But
I think people take, oh, you're just a YouTuber as an insult. You know?
I think yes, when like I said, YouTube is a big community, and when you're labeled just a YouTuber, they're labeling you with maybe some YouTube creators out there that might not, you might not see as very good fit.
I also think that like when people say just YouTube, because a lot of people that I talk to think that YouTubing is very easy. Yeah. Like they just think that all this stuff is one take and like they don't know the behind the scenes of like hours and hours of these people put into the videos, the lighting, the equipment.
That's why I can't complain when I see people and I'm like, man, like why don't my videos get hit? Because I just don't. I'm not gonna say I don't have the time. I haven't been as good and as what's that word? As consistent, with pushing out videos, pushing out content, and this is something I want to do, is just be more consistent, to actually push out content, just to keep talking about it. But the thing is, it's not that easy. You think, it's easy, just record a video and put it up. No, every time I do a video, I've done like maybe 5 or 6 right now, it's a lot of, let me get the lighting right. Let me write down my content idea. Let me write out my topic. Let me write out what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so I have something to talk about. Let me go film the B-rolls for it. There's a lot of research. Like, it's not just record and upload. It's a lot more than that. And so it's like, I give a lot of respect to a lot of these people that make it in the YouTube world.
Yeah, because I see a lot of daily vlogs. Like, they were really popular a couple years ago. Like, I mean, people still daily vlog. A lot of them do it for themselves and, just to document their life. But, along with it, you build like a family. And people, I always see like on Facebook, like random daily vlogs get like reposted by some random account. Yeah. And you always like, I'll randomly click the comments like, oh, like get a real job. It's like, you're lucky that you get to just like hit record and just post it. But then in reality, it's like, you only see about 10 to 20 minutes of these people's lives. Like, you don't know all the work they had to put in and most of these people post every day or 5 times a week. Like, think about waking up, shooting, living your life, and then having to come home and relive it, edit it every day, put it out,
That's like work. That's a lot of work. And daily vlogging is not easy, because how many people out there really every day has an interesting day? Like that's just, it's hard to to find someone that has an interesting day 365 days of the year, right? There are days where you're just like, I got nothing to do.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. And what are you going to do at that point, right?
You're just feeling lazy.
So a lot of these successful, like Casey's videos, right? Casey's a busy man, but every vlog that he does has a topic. He talks about something. There's a story to tell every single vlog, right? Hey, man, I'm trying to do a show here while you're honking. But anyway, yeah, that's how I feel, about just content creating and being a filmmaker. So, the whole point of today's conversation about filmmakers, being a filmmaker or YouTuber is just what I personally believe is it doesn't matter what you are, right? It doesn't matter what someone wants to call you. Do you want to call you a YouTuber? Do they want to call you filmmaker? It really doesn't matter as long as you can keep creating, your films, keep making art, and just keep doing it. Eventually, someone's going to want, to see your work, and they want to bring you up, and they want to have everybody see what you do.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just like not focusing too much on the labels, just going to work, putting in the work every day, and just keep building, like let the snowball effect take place, and you'll meet new people in the community. And it's not really about labels, because at the end of the day, like, just create your art. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
And I think the only other thing I want to say is, James Harden, I miss you. I wish you never left.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. He's gone. You might as well move to Brooklyn now, Brian. You might as well move to Brooklyn. But, yeah, so if you haven't seen Peter's video, I suggest you go check it out. Just a YouTuber on YouTube. He was a YouTuber, and now he makes commercials for Hyundai. But that's it. Thank you for listening.
No, just commercials for Hyundai.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that. But now he makes commercials for Hyundai. Our commercial for Hyundai. But anyway, go check out Peter McKinnon. Thanks for listening to our show. And please, if you like this, share it with your friends, family, your girlfriends, boyfriends, husband, wives, sugar daddies, sugar babies. Anyway, yeah, have a great rest of your week.
Catch y'all next time.